Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, good, good.
Let me just hit record. Okay, let me. Chairman Vidal, so I'm all set whenever you are ready.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. Calling the, can you please call the License and Franchise Committee to order? And can we get a roll call? I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes. Let me see. Counselor Dunn,
Present.
Counselor McLaughlin,
Present.
Counselor O'Brien,
Present.
Counselor Stanley. Okay, Mr. Chairman, you have 4 present and 1 absent.
Thank you very much. Did we get the minutes? I'm looking here at the,
I sent them out on Saturday.
all right, did everyone have a chance to review those minutes?
Oh, wait, no, I sent them out months ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing them a while ago. These are from February. So let's make a motion. Can someone make a motion to approve the minutes, please?
Councilor McLaughlin moves approval of the minutes.
All right, on the motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
say no. The ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, can you please go over the new matters? What do we have first?
Yes, let me just pull up the agenda. Okay, so for new matters, the first new matter is a fortune teller license for James Spanks on 12 Sartell Road.
Thank you very much. Do we have the petitioner in the call?
I do not see him. I sent the call info out to the petitioner, but I can reach out to him and maybe we can have him in for the next meeting if
Yes,
he doesn't appear.
I think that would be a good idea. I know that we have Councilor from Ward 1, Councilor LaFosse, and he and I had a conversation earlier today, and there are definitely a few questions that need to be asked as this is the first time this person comes in front of us. So if we don't have the petitioner present, I will suggest to have a,
Chairman
table
Vidal,
yes,
John, quick question. Is there a deadline, or maybe through you to the clerk, is there any deadline associated with this application?
No.
Chairman Vidal, I'd move to table the matter.
all right. On the motion, well, actually, before we go any further, thank you. I will definitely consider that motion, but Mr. Clerk, can you please just kind of go over the how this comes in front of us? Because as we know, this sort of license is not the usual sort of license that we usually attend to, such as we don't have any sort of documents when it comes to insurance, when it comes to workman's comp or anything like that. I know that this fortune teller license is very vague when it comes to the requirements. Can you kind of go over that with the committee, please?
Yes,
Chairman
sir.
Vidal, Chairman Vidal,
Yes.
Councilor McLaughlin, I withdraw the motion to table.
Okay. Thank you.
So the fortune teller license, the first time we did one of these, it was very complicated because I didn't even know who should license them, if it should be the city council or the board of license commissioners. And the law department researched that, and it turns out that in like 1927 or 18, during Prohibition, the city chose not to permit non-intoxicating beverages. And since we didn't permit non-intoxicating beverages, it's the city council and not the licensing commission that issues this license. Don't ask me why, but that was the answer I got from the law department. So the only thing that guides us on this is a section of state law that has to deal with that deals with the fact that fortune teller is supposed to be licensed by the city or town that they live in, and they're supposed to live there for at least a year. But we don't have any council rules. We don't have any ordinances. We don't, there's nothing to really guide us other than the fact that there's a state law that says that we have to license fortune tellers.
Okay, thank you. Can you please acknowledge Councilor Stanley that just arrived?
Councilor Stanley.
Here,
Thank you.
present.
All members are present, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. All right. Those were my, I want to make sure everyone is aware. I know that Councilor LaFosse is here. I will make a motion to hear from off-committee members if he wants to say a few words. I know that I had a conversation with you earlier regarding this, and I was under the impression at the beginning that it was a renewal, but it wasn't at the end. It ended up being a full license, a brand new license. And I think if we're gonna, as a Councilor McLaughlin made a motion earlier and withdrew regarding tabling this, I think we need some answers, of course. And I don't know if you want to say a few words or not, Councilor LaFosse.
Yes, through you to, I don't know who, but the question, kind of the questions I have, this is a residential area that we're now looking at possibly running a business out of. My questions are going to be, how many trips? He says that it's going to be online primarily, but there will be the occasional house visit. How many house visits does he anticipate?
That's not allowed, Counselor.
What do you mean?
It's not allowed in the zoning. I mean, he can't, it's not a business you can run out of your house.
Well, then the letter, so then if it's not a business that it can be run out of his house, then why is it going up to licenses and franchises then? He's going to be running it out of his house.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have to decide whether or not to grant or deny the license. So it has to go to you. If he's telling you that he's going to do it primarily online and he's only going to do the accounting in his house, he could do that under the zoning, but he can't.
The letter clearly states I will be operating from my home at which I have resided. My intention is to primarily operate online, and I plan, when I read it, intentionally primarily operate online. That leaves the door open for the occasional home visit.
Yeah. I mean, so one thing you could do is require him to get a business certificate before, and the building department has to sign off on those. So if he doesn't, if he isn't able to come up with that, I mean, if you make a motion to have me make him produce a business certificate, maybe that might help with that.
Okay, is that, then can I make the motion not being on the committee, or is that something that the committee would have to do?
I think someone on the committee would have to do a counselor.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make that motion then for Councilor LaFosse.
Can we just be specific on the motion? I just want to make sure we're clear here.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, to Councilor LaFosse. Can you just repeat that?
I believe the wording was that we're looking to have a business certificate produced prior to doing anything further.
Now, quick question that I had. Thank you, Councilor LaFosse and Councilor McLaughlin. Do we want this to be produced before our next meeting when they show up, or do you want them to kind of work at the same time, have the meeting 2 weeks from now?
I mean, I would think, I mean, I'm all for people looking to start businesses, especially, we're in COVID and people have to make an income. So I think before we do anything to allow them to open, they can come to the committee. We should be able to ask the questions and see what their actual intent is before we just stop it in their tracks.
All right. So, Councilor McLaughlin, do you want to reward that somehow, or do you want to just kind of let it be like that? And again, we're going to meet again on this in 2 weeks.
I think it's fine the way it is, but we can require them to have that document prior to coming to the next meeting and then just table it. And when they eventually get it, come in, if and when they get it, come back.
Okay.
in.
All right. Mr. Clerk, how long would something like this take for something like this to be issued from the building department, especially now? We're just kind of, different times now. So
Yeah, so if he doesn't have one now, which I think there's a good chance that he doesn't, he'd have to get the paperwork from us. He'd need to go to the building department. They'd have to do an inspection to make sure whatever he's doing is allowed in the zone that he's allowed. Then they tell us we can issue the business certificate.
Okay. All right. So what I think, have them come in. It seems like they have to come in anyways for the hearing, and then maybe and kind of have this request already up there so they know that it needs to happen. Is that something that everyone agrees to? Would that be all right?
Sure.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
All right. On the motion to ask let me just go over my notes here. To ask of petitioner from 12 Sartell Road, Waltham, for a certificate. They need to produce a business certificate. On the motion, we don't have a timeline here, so we're just gonna ask them to make the motion and make the request, and the clerk will send that over. On the motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Can someone make a motion to table this, please?
Move the table.
All right, Councilor McLaughlin makes a motion to table. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Olafasi.
Thank you.
Next matter, Mr. Clerk, what do we have?
Next matter is secondhand dealers renewal for GameStop over at 1019 Trapella Road.
All right. I believe I already made the motion to hear from all of committee members, correct? Did I get a yes on that or no?
So moved.
All right, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All
Aye.
the ayes have it. Thank you. All right, I think we have Councilor Darcy here on the Zoom call. I imagine you would like to speak on this, Councilor Darcy?
Yes, thank you very much, Councilor and Chair Vidal, and thank you for reaching out to me this afternoon about this matter. I have received no complaints on 1019 Trapella Road, and the owner of that facility keeps his property very clean and neat, so I would be in favor of the license.
Thank you very much, Councilor Darcy. I appreciate your time meeting here with us. Councilor, I'm sorry, Ms. Clerk Bizarre, do we have all the paperwork required for this to move forward?
Yes.
All right, great. Can someone make a motion to approve this, please?
Move approval.
On the motion to approval, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilor Darcy. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Clerk, we have one more item, correct?
That's right, Mr. Chairman. Let me just read it. It is extended hours renewal, 851 Main Street, J&J Variety.
Thank you very much. I had a conversation with, this is actually located on the outskirts of Ward 5. So the ward councilor is Councilor LaCava, and I believe he's in the middle of his own committee meeting, I think, or something. He's in another committee, but he sent an email and shared that he's okay with it. These are the same folks who own a couple of other convenience stores. Let me just go over the email here. Hold on one second. I'll put it up. His words were the following. I'm in full support. Also, as owners of J&J, Veronica's, and Watch City Cigar, they have reached out to myself and the mayor on multiple occasions offering services in this time of need. And they have also donated to Watch CDC, and for that to the entire city. And he is extremely grateful for them. So he's on board making this go through. Can anyone in the committee have anything to say? Any other words?
I do have a question,
Yes.
for Karen. What were the hours before? They're extending their hours. Do we know what their hours used to be? And are they much different?
Clerk Bizarre, I think they're the same hours, right? I didn't see any changes here.
They're the same. By extended hours, it just means they're operating outside the hours that are allowed in the ordinance by right, which I think is 7 to 11.
Okay,
Se- 7 to 11 is when people are normally allowed to be open.
So this is just a renewal of the same hours that have been granted before?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great. Someone make a motion to approve, please.
Move
I make a
approval.
motion to approve.
All right, we'll go with Councilor Dunn on this one. How's that?
Yeah.
Works.
On the motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other items that we can discuss?
No, I think that was it, right?
That is correct. Anyone have anything that's tabled that would like to discuss at this point? All right, since I don't hear anything, so I'll make a motion for, what's the wish of the committee?
Move to adjourn.
All right, Councilor McLaughlin makes a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much, and I see you guys in about 45 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.